Franklin Richards isn't just overpowered. He's the kind of character that makes comic writers wake up at 3 am sweating because they accidentally made a child stronger than half the Marvel multiverse combined. This is a kid who can create universes before breakfast and probably still gets told to go to bed by his parents. Imagine grounding someone who can accidentally erase your dimension during a temper tantrum. That's the daily life of the Fantastic Four. When people talk about the strongest Marvel characters, they usually bring up names like Thanos, Scarlet Witch, or Dr.doom. Meanwhile, Franklin Richards is just sitting in the corner, casually reshaping existence itself like it's an arts class in high school. And somehow, Marvel expects us to treat this like a normal child. This kid isn't just overpowered, he is the literal definition of the writers forgot to add limits. Franklin Richards is the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm. So genetically, this guy was already destined to be ridiculous. One parent is basically the smartest human alive, and the other can create invisible force fields strong enough to stop cosmic threats. But their child somehow became stronger than both of them combined before he even hit puberty. That's terrifying. Imagine getting a report card from school and your son's biggest issue is accidentally creating another dimension during math class. Marvel has tons of reality warpers, but Franklin is built differently. Characters like Scarlet Witch can alter reality on a massive scale, but Franklin is literally top G. He can create realities that distinction matters a lot. It's basically the difference between renovating a house and inventing an entire planet because you felt emotional for 5 minutes. And the scary part is that most of Franklin's power happens subconsciously, meaning sometimes he isn't even trying. His brain just goes, yeah, reality could use an update right now, and suddenly physics stops working properly. Franklin's abilities include reality warping, matter manipulation, telepathy, telekinesis, time manipulation, dimensional travel, universe creation, pocket dimensions, cosmic awareness, basically every overpowered ability Marvel could think of. At this point, the only thing missing is taxes, and even then, Franklin could probably just create a universe where taxes don't exist. Sorry, Donald Trump. Now, this is where Marvel completely lost control. In one future storyline, Galactus, the world eating monster by the way, becomes Franklin's herald. Read that again carefully. Galactus, working for Franklin Richards, who's barely 18, and he becomes Franklin's emotional support pet. Silver Surfer serves Galactus, but Galactus serves Franklin. Marvel basically looked at power scaling and said, you know what, forget balance. And it even gets a lot more crazier. Franklin has literally resurrected Galactus, like reviving a cosmic entity is just another thing to do on his to-do list. Literally like wake up, eat breakfast, rebuild reality, revive Galactus, sleep. Completely normal kid activities. The scary thing about Franklin is that cosmic beings genuinely take him seriously. Not in a oh this kid is talented way, more like if this child loses emotional control, we could all die. The Beyonders, the beings that are capable of destroying entire multiverses, were still connected to storylines where Franklin was considered a major cosmic factor. That's insane because the Beyonders are not just regular MCU villains. These are entities that treat universes the way we treat our Google browser tabs. And Franklin still stands out among that level of chaos. Dr. Doom hates almost everybody. The man wakes up every morning thinking about superiority. But Franklin is one of the rare characters Doom genuinely respects and fears a little, because Doom understands something most people don't. Franklin Richards is potentially the endgame of power and Marvel. During Secret Wars, when Doom basically became a god using Beyonder's powers, Franklin still remained one of the key figures in rebuilding reality afterwards, which is pretty ridiculous if you think about it. Imagine becoming an all-powerful god and still needing help from a child. That's Franklin Richards. Now, here's the thing that makes Franklin better than most overpowered characters. He's still human emotionally. That's what keeps him interesting. Franklin isn't a walking around acting like an edgy, invincible anime villain. He is a kid, a confused one, and his emotions directly affect reality. That's what makes him dangerous. Because imagine being upset, scared, lonely, or angry and accidentally rewriting the laws of existence. That's pretty crazy. Franklin could theoretically throw a multiversal event like this. The one above all is basically Marvel's supreme creator entity, the absolute top. Franklin has never surpassed him, but Marvel constantly places Franklin near these cosmic conversations because his powers resemble creation itself. That's the most important part. Franklin doesn't feel like a superhero anymore. He feels like a living force of creation, almost like the universe itself decided to become a child for some reason. A terrifying child. Now let's talk about why Franklin matters for the future of Marvel movies. MCU is clearly heading to go deeper into multiverse territory, and honestly, Franklin Richards fits that direction perfectly, especially with the Fantastic Four first steps coming soon, and future Secret Wars storylines likely happening afterwards. Franklin could easily become one of the most important characters in the next saga because he naturally connects to multiversal collapses, Dr.doom, cosmic entities, reality warping, the Beyonders, Secret Wars, and after Thanos, Marvel needs threats that feel genuinely bigger. Franklin is one of the few characters that raise the stakes without feeling forced, because with Franklin, the threat isn't just destruction, it's uncontrolled creation. The funniest thing about Franklin Richards is how casually Marvel treats his insanity sometimes. Characters will literally be discussing universal collapses while Franklin is standing there looking like someone who still needs help with his homework. This child can probably outscale half the cosmic hierarchy and still isn't old enough to rent a car. That contrast is what makes him memorable. He's not a giant armored conqueror, he's a kid with godlike powers trying to understand himself, which honestly makes him scarier because when villains want power, you can predict them. Franklin doesn't even need power, reality just obeys him automatically. Franklin Richards isn't just one of Marvel's strongest characters. He is basically Marvel asking, what if we gave a child Minecraft creative commands? A being capable of creating universes, rebuilding reality, terrifying cosmic events, and possibly shaping the future of entire MCU. And the craziest part is that Marvel still acts like he hasn't reached his full potential yet, which means the strongest version of Franklin Richards might still be growing up.